Hey guys, I want to tell the story of going from corporate America to retiring to helping my daughter beat childhood cancer to starting a podcast where people come on and tell their life stories. And so this is mine or part of it. In my early 20s, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just coming on and talking. This is not rehearsed. This is not scripted. I have not prepped this. So in my early 20s, I developed a very bad relationship with drugs and alcohol and ended up abusing opiates, methamphetamine, and alcohol for several years. I can't believe I said that, but people come on my podcast and they share what's on their heart. They share their life story honestly. So I want to do that too and honor everybody that comes on. My name's Trevor, by the way. So yeah, I went through that for several years. It got really, really dark. I ended up living in a homeless shelter. Got sober and cleaned up at 26. Went back to school, finished up. I got my bachelor's degree in business marketing. And had a daughter at 30, graduated, and started corporate America with the intention of whoever gives me a chance, I'm going to tear the whole world a new one and make up for my lost time and show everybody I'm not a piece of crap and a drug addict, and I'm not just a freak with ADHD, because I have a pretty severe case of that. Anyway, so I did. I got on, and within 3 years, I went from making minimum wage to over $300,000. And I did that until I was about 39 or 40, rose to the top, had a really big job. Everybody said I was crazy for leaving. And what happened is I basically got what's called pushed out. So in corporate America, especially in tech sales, if you sit in one role long enough, you 100% will get fired. And so what happens is you get a manager, or you get something doesn't jive with the company anymore. And so they do what's called managing you out. And they make your job so impossible to do and so stressful that you basically quit. But if you can stomach it and hang on, you will get a severance package. And so I was able to do that. And I did. Most people slide into a new role; they move laterally, so because they don't want to get fired. But that's what I wanted. I did it with the intention of switching to real estate. I just wanted to take some time off, and soon after I left, it was the right decision. I lost a bunch of weight. I didn't realize how grumpy I was. My family started liking me again. My friends were giving me good feedback, but my daughter came to us with a lump in her arm, and we found out that it was cancer. So I'm going to keep this brief and start out by saying that she is 100% okay. So let me get that out of the way. Telling the story ends very, very well. And so, but that went on for about a year and a half, and there was about 4 or 5 days when they basically told us through nonverbal scans that it had metastasized to her lungs. That's stage 4, and you're pretty much done. So we had to prep on how do we tell her that, how do we tell her sister that. It was really sick, and I thought I'd seen some pain in my life, and it was just nothing compared to this that me and my family and my wife and 2 daughters went through. So anyways, we hopped into action. My wife's an RN, so she knew the system. I had just supported healthcare from a business standpoint in corporate sales, so I knew how money moves through the system and where to target and how to build relationships with people that can hit the green button when you need scans and stuff. And I believe there was also some divine intervention, and we did another scan. Her lungs were stable. They did 2 operations. A good amount of her arm is removed back here, so she has a big old scar, and she lives in a good amount of pain, but she's cancer-free, and she doesn't identify at all with being a cancer survivor. She doesn't want the ribbons. She doesn't want to talk about it. I don't know what's squirming behind me, but that's how we do it here. This is the river. So anyways, yeah, during that 4 days when we thought she was going to die, I'm just walking around town with my hair done, and I'm getting coffees, and we're hitting movies, and I'm going through the sickest. I cannot, I didn't know the human psyche and body and spirit could hurt as bad as I was hurting, and my wife too, and nobody knew. Nobody had any idea that we were going through that, and it just made me think, like, damn, how many people are going through crazy stuff like this that nobody knows? Like, this is just insane that you can be in this much pain and nobody knows. And I thought, it was so much pain that it actually detached me from myself. It gave me an out-of-body experience, much like psychedelics or meditation can, or a near-death experience. And I realized that I'm not my body. That's a whole different story. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But it's actually not a rabbit hole. So I had some great realizations. See, this is not scripted, but anyhow, what happened was I saw how I had treated people in the past and times that I'd been rude, and I wondered, were those people in this kind of pain, you know? And so it kind of came through my wife. She goes, "You're going to start a podcast," and she gave me the title of it, and so I did. I put all my skills to work, and I started this podcast. I didn't know anything about it. We converted our office into a podcast room, and I just started getting guests. And these people started coming on, and just, it's a podcast for personal, inspiring stories, and people coming on and telling their life stories, and or stories from their life of overcoming adversity and what they learned from it and the silver lining. Because at one point during the cancer thing, because this went on for a year and a half, just scans, and are the lung parts stable? We thought there was tumors in there. It was just terrible. So anyways, I, during that time, gave God the middle finger, and I had somewhat of a religious belief and background attached to my relationship with God. And I remember telling him, I don't care. You put me through everything you've put me through in my life, and now my daughter, innocent 11-year-old, like literally the kindest person I've ever met, is going to go through this. F you. And if I'm wrong and I go to hell, send it. Like that's how angry I was at God. And so I walked it, and I spent 6 months with no relationship there. Not saying he wasn't real, I just didn't care. I didn't want anything to do with him. And my wife was talking to me one day. I shared this with her. Never thought I'd share it with anyone, because I still had parts of me that are like, "Oh, you're going to hell if you feel like that." I don't feel like that anymore. I don't think. No, anyways, longer story. My wife told me, like, "You're looking at this all wrong. Like, look at all this good that's come from this. Look at all the people that have been touched. All the parents that know about this they're more grateful for their kids, even if temporarily." And she went through so many things. It blew my mind that somebody could find good in a situation like that. And so I thought, I want to get stories out like that. Like, everybody has seen the podcast with Jordan Peterson and Andrew Huberman and Joe Rogan and all these guests with all these followers, different variations of the same guests going on podcast circuits, but nobody's getting the 85% of the voices out. Nobody's getting, like, what are everyday people doing? What have they conquered? What do they have to share? And so I started doing that, and it was hard to fill up the calendar initially, but then the floodgates opened, and guests are just coming out of nowhere, and they're getting bigger, and they're getting more vulnerable, and they're willing to share things that I never thought they'd be willing to share. There's guests that have shared they've been abused in various ways, and they've never admitted it before, and it's healing for them. It's healing for them. It's healing for me. It's healing for listeners, and they release all of this emotion in this room, and we just lock in, and we get lockstep, and I have to cry after a lot of times because I absorb the emotion with them, and they all say they feel a ton lighter, and they say it's therapeutic, and they're very happy that they got to do it. And so anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, started this podcast. It came through my wife. She's like, "Hey, you got to start a podcast," and it's called what it's called. So I've been doing that, and I've done 30 of them now, or I've filmed 37. There's like 30, 31 out. And what's blowing my mind is that there really are miraculous people with miraculous stories walking around out there. And it's kind of funny. I'm in a situation now where I have, and it's kind of personal, and like, I'm not asking for anything. There is zero self-pity attached to this. I don't have any income, and the podcast isn't free to produce. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care who watches the podcast. I don't care where it goes. I don't care if it monetizes. If someone gave me $1 billion, I'm just going to do more of this. I love this. This is my calling. This is why I'm here. This is why the cancer happened. And I just want to get as many amazing people showcased as possible. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter if you're whoever you are. And so that is kind of my journey towards podcasting. I skipped so much. But I think the biggest things, yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. But yeah, I have made the decision very recently to move to 2 episodes a week, and because I considered going back into corporate to build an income again, to like, just so I could keep doing this. You know, like I said, it's not free to produce these. I don't care. I don't need anything. I'm doing this till the day I die. This is what I'm here for, is to give people relief from suffering by showing that we're all the same and we're all going through stuff and we can all teach each other things if we stay humble. And so that's what has happened. And then, oh my gosh, I forgot. So this whole channel is started like, so I was never a dog person. This is blowing my mind. We have a dog that literally transformed my brain, transformed my heart, transformed my my spirit. So when my daughter, I was never a dog person. We got this dog and I'm just not connecting with it. We have it for a year. The sweetest golden doodle, so calm and gentle. And I'm just like, dude, this sucks. Like, okay, I'll feed you, I'll take care of you. But I didn't think dogs need love. It's just, it's okay now. So anyhow, I slowly started bonding with this dog. And then when my daughter was recovering from cancer and in a lot of pain, the surgery, sorry, this dog never left her. His name's Hank, and I have all girls in my house. I wanted a male dog with a strong name, and I love Hank, man. I love Hank. I cannot believe how much I love that dog. I cannot believe it. Anyhow, Hank never left Claire's side, like followed her ever, to the point that food was not necessary for him. He didn't care. He just never left her side ever and always stayed in contact with her, like a physical contact. And so I believe that he helped her heal. I believed he absorbed a lot of her pain and her energy and I don't know, cleaned it up and sent it back into her body. But whatever it was, this dog was right there with my daughter and helped her heal. And so what happened was after that, I think it took a toll on Hank. And so he became super lethargic. He became depressed. He didn't respond to any of the same fun stimuli that he did before. And he laid around, he developed rashes. The vets didn't know what to do. And we just intuitively know, like, this dude went through this with us and he's suffering, he's depressed. And so we decided to get Hank a therapy dog named Hudson, who's he's a sheepadoodle. And this dude, man, same thing. Took me a year to bond with him. But anyways, within a month, Hank like put all his weight back on. The rashes were gone and he's out there playing with Hudson. And this Hudson dog, dude, when they say man's best friend, like that's a serious statement. I don't think you can fully, this is my opinion, I don't think you can fully live life until you've connected with a canine and felt that love and felt what it does to your heart and your spirit. And if you know me, you would not believe that I'm saying this. I was not an emotional guy, but this cancer transformed me. So anyways, we got him Hudson, and Hudson's the happiest dog I've ever. He's too happy to function. Like, he literally can't control his body. If he sees you, he starts wiggling all around. His butt's going in different directions than the rest of his body, and he can't control his head. And so every time you're walking through the house and you see him, he doesn't know that you haven't seen. I don't know what it is, but 50, 100 times a day you walk through and he sees you and starts wiggling, and it's just this injection of love. It's just pure love. And so you get lifted up all day, little bits at a time, little interactions like that. How incredible is that? Everybody needs a dog. I know that sounds weird, but if you knew me before, you'd give that credibility. So yeah, that's kind of the story there. And I think I can't believe, like, because we did a surgery and then we had to tell my daughter she had to do another one, and she's 10 at the time, you know, like, this is super brutal, and she just owned up to it, and it showed me what bravery was. You know, I didn't really know what that was at the time. But anyhow, back to corporate. I was considering going back in, and I just can't. And so I'm going all in on the podcast. I don't know where it goes, but I'm moving to 2 episodes a week, and that changes the whole game. I have to now spend a ton of time finding guests. It's a labor of love. Like I said, I'll start selling stuff before I stop doing this. That's just how much I love this, and it's helping people. I wanted to help relieve people's suffering, and it has. It absolutely has. And so I'm going to keep going. And this channel is to, like, show my bonding with dogs. I don't know what is going to come of this. I really don't. I don't know. I just want to document it. what's happened this last 2 years for us, and what these dogs have done, and what the cancer has done, and what the podcast is doing. And yeah, I don't really, sounds kind of harsh, but I don't care if anyone's interested. This is just something I want to do. I want to get this on camera. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. It's actually not. And once I turn this off, I'm going to remember all these different things, but whatever, you guys get the gist. I had a shocking life event, and I realized life's too short. Oh, we're also going to move to Kauai. So that's a pretty big thing that came from this. Is we wanted to do that when we retired, and after this cancer thing, we're like, life's short, it's fragile. Like, what are we doing? Let's just move there. We don't know how, we don't know when, but it's happening, and it's happening soon, 100%. And we love it there. So yeah, this channel is to document my journey to Kauai. Is to document my love for dogs. I want to just, I don't know what I want to do with it. And it's also to like start, I guess, a vlog and just start talking to a camera and get used to that. And for what purpose, I don't know. This does feel good. That much I do know. And I'm going to upload this and probably upload more. I'm not going to worry about, you know, angles and scripting techniques and storytelling techniques that create open loops and rush dopamine so people keep watching. I just want to talk. And if anybody wants to hear me rant, like this is what it's like in my head. So I love dogs. I love humans. I love life. I love the river. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I was not David Goggins. He's one of the hardest working people that ever lived, but I was of that mindset. There was no emotion. It was my $5 or yours. Who's going to negotiate better? I will outwork you. I will outgrind you. And I was very successful doing that, but it took a huge toll. I'm on the other side now where I'm trying to receive direction, divine direction, to know where to point my work ethic and where to work hard. It's different. It's scary, but I know I'm supposed to do it. And so if you're watching this, I'm serious. Like, I love you. And I hope that right now you can look at something and find a way to be grateful for it, and just start practicing that. And like I said, I love humans. I love dogs. I love the river. I love life. And I hope you guys got something from this rant, or didn't. I don't know. All right, I'm going to stop because I'll just keep doing that. Bye.